The rise of anti-Semitism here in Canada should be a wake-up call for every single one of us to take a stand against the increasing normalization of anti-Semitism in our own backyards.
Unless you are within the community, I, as the average Canadian, do not know, is not aware of what the community undergoes on a daily basis. Hateful calls, bomb threats, hate mail, graffiti.
You know, we all have a shared responsibility in our society to stand against hate in all its forms.
When our non-Jewish partners understand that an act against the Jewish community anywhere in the world is felt personally by every Jew, then we feel seen, heard, supported, and protected.
In numerous Canadian cities, multiracial and multi-ethnic Jews have a long and rich history. Yet throughout society, whether it be in the classroom, boardroom, or in government, there is a pronounced lack of understanding about our existence.
To a large extent, how our leaders respond to anti-Semitism shapes the way our community experiences it. Does our society stand with us, or are we isolated and on our own?
It all stems out of a recognition of two things. One, that with the diversity of our cities and our population in Ontario generally, but especially in our bigger cities, there goes a great responsibility to deal with these kinds of people who would perpetrate hateful acts, and with the very existence of that kind of hatred and anti-Semitism to begin with. And I guess, secondly, it is really just a manifestation of what certainly James Pasternak and I have taken it upon ourselves to do in respect of acts of hate of this kind, in particular anti-Semitism, which is stand up, speak up, show up, and act.
And in collaboration with our Anti-Racism Advisory Table, which is represented with members of the Jewish community, and internal anti-racism planning strategy for our own staff, the overall strategy we drafted with strategic actions, key performance indicators, expected outcomes, and dollars that we need to ensure that all of these good initiatives that look good and sound good on paper actually come to life with the necessary resources to combat anti-Semitism that we see in our city.
But truthfully, if we're to combat hate, if we're to combat anti-Semitism and grow understanding among our residents, we need to create the places and programs and opportunities for people to interact.
On the darker side of our history, I'm told that Jews were not welcome to be members of the local golf clubs. They steered clear of the dance halls for fear of being hurt. And some cottage owners in the area surrounding the lake had it in their title of the property that they could not sell to Jews. Our journey towards a more equitable, diverse, and inclusive Innisfil is only just beginning. We have much to learn, and we look forward to working with the Jewish community.
I went to the International Holocaust Remembrance Museum in Israel, and it gives you an appreciation for the vivid consequences when there is apathy and silence in the face of hate and violence.
You know, anti-Semitism is really based on ignorance, and the only way that you can defeat ignorance is through knowledge and education. There's no other way.
Hate crime is a crime against shared identity. It's a crime against collective core identity. When one person is the target, an entire community is victimized.
As chief, I've expanded our hate crime unit last year and again to strengthen the relationships between the service and our vulnerable communities. And one of the key priorities contained in our 2022 budget request will allow us, if it is approved, to redeploy existing resources to the unit to help prevent hate crimes and increase our investigative capacities in this critical area. We recently created a Jewish Community Consultative Committee that will allow the community and the police to exchange information, identify issues, and develop strategies for maintaining and enhancing community safety.
One of our officers has helped co-chair with Toronto, York, OPP, and other agencies through the Ontario Association of Chiefs of Police, strengthening the capacity of all police agencies. We cannot let the fear rule our ability to live freely in this society.
That policing with a global mindset, what happens in Texas or in Israel or in New York or anywhere else in the world will have a very local impact here in York region.
what I really find hopeful is the fact that while there is so much work to do, there's a lot of work being done. And I think that we can leave this summit with a sense of accomplishment